He's gonna take you back to the past to play the
To
shitty
play the
games
shitty games that suck ass.
He'd rather have a
a
buffalo
buffalo.
take a diarrhea dump in his beer. He'd rather
eat a rotten asshole of a road-killed skunk and down it with beer.
He is the
He's
angriest
the angriest gamer you've ever heard.
He is the angry Nintendo nerd. He is the angry Atari Sega nerd. He is the angry video game nerd. A little desynced, but that's okay. Hey everyone, we're back, and we're playing one of my favorite Halloween megawads, getting in the spirit of the season, Mortem. And of course I've got my co-host and excellent vocalist, Klasik. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing quite well, and thank you for complimenting on my singing voice. I usually don't get that. I just have this uncanny ability to kind of memorize lyrics. That's my superpower. But yeah, this is Spooky Month. I love Spooky Month.
Spooky Month.
So does Beetbeard.
I have warmed up to it considerably as I've gotten older. It used to be kind of a non-event for me growing up. But as I have matured and grown wiser with age and, become like a fine wine as I'm going into my late 20s, or as I'm about to finish my late 20s, actually, I've grown to appreciate Halloween much more as an extremely fun holiday and just a really cool vibe too. So
autumn is my favorite season, so
it is my favorite season too. I really like autumn a lot.
It's got nice temperatures. I don't burn to death instantly, so like summer. Speaking of summer, I've kind of grown to hate summer more as I've gotten older, like because I can't really handle the temperatures that much. Summer break was always nice, but so I don't always get that now, so I won't get it later. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a buzzkill, but like once you get out of high school, like even if you go to college, you're still doing internships or taking summer classes or doing other stuff just to make sure that you're marketable and have a job when you finish. And if you don't, of course, go to college and you take up a trade, then summer vacation is just a thing of the past. And so it's just, there's nothing redeeming about it, because I think we're the same way, where it's like I'm very much a cooler weather person. If it's really cold, that's not fun, but like if it's like 50 outside and the wind's blowing and there's like just leaves in the wind, that's like my favorite kind of weather. And it's absolutely my favorite time of year.
Heck yeah.
And I've definitely warmed to Halloween over the years. When I was a kid, I used to not really get it. I think it's because my family was very kind of not super into it, and so I wasn't really exposed to it growing up. But I had a lot of friends.
Halloween is demonic.
That's why it's cool. But I had some friends in graduate school who I would go to Halloween parties with and so forth, and so I've had more of an exposure to it now, and I do definitely see the appeal, and I love the spookiness now. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of the appeal of Halloween, one thing that warmed me up to it more was the spooky themed Doom mods people are putting out.
Oh hell yeah!
Wormwood, I haven't played that, but I'm checking it out definitely this month. Tangerine Nightmare, which will come soon.
Yeah,
that is one of my favorites, and then right beside that is Morbid Autumn, or Morbound Autumn. I don't know how to pronounce it because it doesn't show the title in the WOD. So
I think it's Morbid Autumn. I could be wrong about that, but I'm fairly confident that it's Morbid Autumn. That's what I've always heard anyway. So also playing with a wired mouse really does make quite the difference, let me tell you. That's what I'm playing with tonight. And just full transparency for people. First of all, sorry we've been gone so long. I've had a lot of crazy life stuff going on. I recently moved. I was in a really bad living situation for about a year, but I recently got a really, really nice new place, which I feel really good about. And I just finished the moving process for that.
Overall, cities suck. Don't let anybody tell you different.
Exactly. Klasik and I are both philosopher country boys, I feel like. I definitely grew up in a rural environment, and that's where I feel most happy and most comfortable.
I'm kind of in the weird middle. Like, I feel more at home in, like, the rural areas from what I've seen, but I'm definitely suburbanite kind of person, you know?
I can dig it. I definitely grew up, like, my parents owned, like, a small... I would call it a farm. I'm not sure they would, but it was like a plot of land, and we had some horses and a lot of, like, a big vegetable garden and, like, an orchard and everything, and we were next to a nature preserve, so a lot of our house was just... or a lot of our property was just trees, and our closest neighbor was, like, really far away, so I'm much more comfortable in the countryside than I am in the city, personally. And so I'm very happy to, like, be there, and just in time, too, because where I am in Washington, like, the leaves are really starting to change, the weather is, like, getting properly nippy. If you look up at the Cascades, which is like the mountain range that's like closest to where I am, there's like snow that's like flecking the top peaks right now. So it's summer is on the way out, and I'm very, very happy about that.
Summer sucks.
Yes, it does. Summer can lick my taint. It's not.
It used to be cool back when I was a kid and I had school up then, but you know that's not gonna last forever.
I think a big
and I have no reason to like summer after that. So
I think a big part of honestly the appeal of summer just comes from like Saturday morning kid specials, and like I don't know, I feel like summer is really marketed like to kids. It's like, oh, summer's so cool. But even as a kid, I was like, summer's like hot and uncomfortable, and like I just know that I'm gonna go back to school in a few months, so it's not really even that relaxing. Yeah, I don't know. Summer's a scam,
like the beach episodes.
Say what?
You know, like the beach episodes, for example.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I like those can be fun for people. Like, we're not trying to bash anybody's interest, but for me. I don't like sand. To quote one Sith Lord, it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Yes, it does.
Like walking on sand constantly hurts my feet. So at least whenever I went out, because I went out to Massachusetts to see family last year. Yeah, I didn't like sand when we walked on the beach. So
it's definitely.
Like, I like kind of being in that environment, like it's peaceful with the ocean and all that. It's just, sand.
No,
it was also fairly cold, so it probably was more bearable. Because beaches and heat mixed together, oh god, that's pure torture.
It's definitely one of those things where, yeah, like, it's if you're not. I don't know, like I like the beach setting and I like the idea of lounging on the beach, but every time I go to the beach and like try to enjoy it and soak it in, I just get really uncomfortable and I just really do not have a good time at all. I've gone with my sister a couple times.
Summer only really appeals to quote unquote cool preteens, so and teenagers too, I guess.
I knew a lot of people in college who really, really liked the beach, and it seemed to be like frat boys and girls. I'm not sure why. I guess it's a cultural thing, but I was always like, I want to go to the mountains. Forget the beach. But everyone's got
the mountains are cooler.
Literally, they are cooler. Yes, indeed. But
every time I go out into like the state, or at least with my family, I always try to appreciate the views we go into, and when we go into the mountains, going south and all that. Pretty almost kind of magical experience. One of the few things that kind of remains quote unquote magical to me as I've gotten older. Like I don't feel like I'll ever not consider that sort of magical.
I don't think that will get old because I'm a little more than 10 years older than you are, and my love of big open spaces and mountains has, I would say, only grown stronger with time as I've gotten to know them more. So you learn to appreciate more about them as you spend more time with them, especially if you like hiking and camping and all that jazz. And so I don't think that's something you need to worry about. Granted, I would say as like someone who's older, like imagination and appreciation for things like that is something you have to like consciously work at. But you're a deep person, and I know that you know what you value, and so I know you're going to make a point of like continuing to enjoy it as you get older. So I don't think you need to worry about
it. I consider myself to live in one of the best places in the world, Colorado.
Colorado is pretty awesome.
We can rag on the governments of our states and country all we want, and we have, and all of our viewers should know. But the actual places themselves, I deeply love.
I feel exactly the same way. Like I genuinely, really, really, really love where I live right now, which is kind of central Washington. It's actually like very similar to, I would say, it's very similar to Colorado in a lot of ways. Also, is that audio coming in a little too hot, out of curiosity? Or does it sound good to you? The music, that is.
No, I think it's fine so far.
Okay. Just making sure that it's not too loud for you and the audience, hopefully, too. No, I agree. Problems, though, I have... Oh, no, now my cursor's stuck. Well, okay, I'll just deal with it. Problems, though, I have with the United States, like, there are some beautiful places, especially out west, and, I don't know, my family's here in the States, and culturally I'm very American, and so I don't know, I might still move to Germany or something if I ever get like a job offer there or something, but I'm definitely kind of like, a lot of my family's here and everything I know and love is here, and if I move, it's one less person voting for positive change in a big important country, so... Say what?
Which is, the most I've left the United States is Canada, which is kind of either America's shirt or I forgot the other analogy. Either Canada is our shirt or we're Canada's trousers. But basically, despite all the shade I throw at Canada in private with my friends, like the jokes of like the bags of milk, the dang Canadians. They're basically just us with a different coat of paint.
Oh yeah, totally.
Besides the Quebecois,
Oh my god,
and
two
then
harsh
there's
vibes.
Hawaii, which I went to back in 2019. Very beautiful place, but it was a bit hot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hawaii. I remember the most. There was this beach of black sand we went to.
Ooh, black sand, nice.
And I used a picture on my phone background. Just beautiful.
That's awesome. You said this was in Canada?
No, this was Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii. Okay, gotcha.
Canada. I just went to Toronto and Niagara Falls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, something's going on with the audio where the music's coming in really loud for me, but I can barely hear you. So I'm just gonna turn it off and just listen, I think, if that's okay.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, cool. That's a lot better. But anyway, you said, so you saw like black sand in Hawaii, you mentioned. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like hot to the touch, apparently.
I think it was hot to the touch. I don't remember exactly because this was 4 years ago. But I do remember like walking alongside that. It was just really nice, especially seeing like the other islands, kind of off in the distance. Yeah, it was great. That's one of the main things I remember from it. Because my old phone kind of died, and I didn't put any of my old photos to the cloud, so everything everything from like I think either 2018 to 2017 to like 2022 was all kind of lost.
Oh no! I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Was really bummed me out.
I've made that mistake
I
before
only managed
too.
to save one picture of that white black sands, which was a great picture, but only because I think my dad sent it to me, or resent it to me anyways.
Yeah, I had the same thing happen. Maybe oh, I forget when exactly this was. Maybe 3 years ago. I had an iPhone which I had for like 3 years or something like that, and you know, it had a lot of pictures from like graduate school and like late college and so forth. Oh, where's the Arch file? Where are you? There you are. Oh my god, there's two of you. Fuck. That's a spicy meatball, as they say. Actually, it's a spicy Martian ball, because I know that Mount Payne likes calling them. Oh, hi guys. Jesus, how do I do this?
I'm Mount Payne 27, and this is Dino Doom.
The show where we give grades to classic and contemporary Doom mods. Why? Because ranking things is fun. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about pee pee poo poo. The wad where the pee pee poo poo and the poo poo pee pee. This wad pee pee poo poo, poo poo pee pee poo poo. I don't know.
It's really, we're playing the hit wad grown ups too. It's like
oh no.
Poison. It really is a great idea.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the video I sent you. Okay. Yeah. Red Letter Media is amazing. I love them so much.
Yeah, I just rewatched them tonight. I think the Jack and Jill one, the two-parter, I just watched.
That's a really funny episode.
Adam Sandler sure is a person.
They have like a 2-part like hour and a half long video just dissecting like Jack and Jill, like partially how bad it is, but partially how bad it is, but also partially just like why you should hate it because of what it means for like studio executives stealing your money and like, you know, basically putting in no effort.
Not saying Adam Sandler like inflated the budget of the movie and gave it all to his friends and himself, because a movie like that should not be around the budget of freaking Lord of the Rings. We're just saying that, you know, he's probably a prop.
Wait, Clayser, are you saying that wealthy people take advantage of the dumb masses for their own financial gain? I can't believe this.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that wealthy people take advantage of the quote-unquote dumb masses to, you know, secure their own interest, you know?
Okay,
we're totally not political. Our audience totally understands that we're completely, you know, apolitical. Politics, boo. We don't like it.
I was gonna say, my friend, that's a pretty spicy take you were gonna have right there on this show where we openly champion socialism and talk about a lot of other stuff like that. Anyway, I feel like fork in the brain, fork in the brain. I am a flyover cow. Moo.
Stop thinking, brain. You're going to hurt yourself.
Stop thinking, brain. You're going to hurt yourself. Alright, so I've been a fan of their channel for a long time, like for about a decade at this point, and they've never done a skit like that ever since for that one, which makes me sad, because that was like, it was so dry and sarcastic, and I loved it.
It wasn't just like normal sarcasm too, it was like advanced sarcasm.
It isn't just...
like, if you didn't know them that well, which I did, I would have genuinely thought, I kind of genuinely thought that, like, they're being serious here until I started doing the grown-ups too is like drinking rat poison.
It really is a good idea. And then they slowly like get more bloody over time, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? It's just, oh, I love their humor so much. Did I send you the Plinkett Star Wars reviews by any chance? Same.
I don't think you did, no.
Oh, I need to send you those. Anyone who is listening who has seen those knows what I'm talking about. They are some of the greatest, if not the greatest, YouTube videos, in my opinion, ever made. As a matter of fact, those videos kind of invented the video essay. At least for YouTube, that is. Like, obviously video essays were a medium that existed before YouTube, but that kind of was the catalyst that popularized it for the platform, I want to say. So, like, after those things came out, everyone started making video essays, and so I'll send them to you. They're same kind of humor as the fork in the brain kind of thing, but much more like thought out and carefully written. Also, one of the reasons, this is a total aside, by the way, I don't know if we even mentioned this, we're playing Ad Mortem, people. This is a Doom WOD from last year, from 2022. I'm sorry, I'm really tired tonight, and yeah, that's on me. So we recorded 2 episodes last night, but the audio on my end was really crappy, and I didn't feel good about releasing an episode, which was a shame because we had a good conversation, but I wanted to re-record this, and yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite Megawads period, and also just one of my favorite Halloween wads. Came out last year, and I don't know who...
really
Yeah, one of my favorite things about this is like the they use a lot of like fun MBF 21 like gimmickry for like really cool like music change sequences, and like just a lot of really fun like atmosphere building stuff. But it's got a really wonderful color palette. Like, I love how those red trees pop against the gray cliffs, and like this orange, I don't know if it's leaves or gore or what it is, but this one just has just such a cool, like, spooky but also very laid back vibe, which I really dig.
It's don't forget the purple.
Yeah, the purple is what kind of ties it all together, I feel like. Much like the dude's rug.
Spooky, the definition, or what it should be, because whenever I use the word, it's always kind of like in a fun way, sort of like, fearful, you know. It's never, it's kind of, you know, innocent and fun, as opposed to like, I wouldn't use like creepy, for example, to like describe a lot of things. Like in the spooky genre, you know, like,
yeah,
I wouldn't consider, you know, let's take a good example, like Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I'd say that's very spooky, but I wouldn't say it's creepy or dread-inducing or, you know, frightening or anything.
Yeah, totally. Like, what's the movie? The Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a spooky movie, but it's not scary at all. It's just got a lot of like fun Halloween motifs in it. And it's fun to watch largely because of those.
it's sort of like, I'd say, atmospheric but fun, you know?
Whereas like John Carpenter's The Thing is very scary. And they're both wonderful depending upon your mood, but I tend to be feel more like in a spooky mood when I'm around Halloween
For
personally.
some reason, nowadays anyway, I started to view. I like it when Halloween is more fun, and then Christmas is a bit more dark for some reason.
Really? You like dark Christmas
Yeah,
movies? Interesting. Why do you think that is?
like I don't know. One of my good IRL friends said I like the contrast. He knows me very well, but for my reason, I can't really pin it down. But I feel like Christmas. Um, Again, he might be right in the contrast, but I can't really describe it. But there's something like that feels sort of spook or not spooky, sort of like dreadful about the winter season setting in. Like everything starts like dying, you know.
I can
It
dig
gets
that.
colder. Like like winter was really bad for like ancient humans and stuff.
That's true,
And then
yeah.
there's Christmas, which is all fun. So maybe it is just the contrast that I like. But ironically, I've made the Shining. That's gonna be my Christmas movie. Like every Christmas, I'll watch that.
I'm into
Um,
it.
like I feel like that's a lot more winter than like fall or like Halloween. You know.
Oh, totally, yeah. Have you
Like
seen
if you just put a little more like Christmas music or Christmas references, then it would be the best Christmas horror movie.
have you ever seen Krampus by any chance? It came out in 2015.
I I've heard of it. Um, I kind of know what it is. Um, it's a bit more like campy B movie than like The Shining, but I know it's pretty like kind of scary. You know, wasn't it made by the same guy that made I think Trick or Treat?
Yes, you gosh, you know your stuff. Yeah, it was made by the same guy, same kind of tone. If you've ever seen that. So like you can tell that he's kind of winking at the audience, but it is very spooky in parts. It's like I don't know, it's like John Carpenter's The Thing meets a fun Christmas movie, if that makes sense. I really like it. I think it's tonally it's not nearly as scary as John Carpenter's The Thing if you've seen that, but it's tonally like very fun. It's a good like
I
gateway horror movie, I would say.
I do need to watch Trick or Treat though, especially since this season.
It's good.
Halloween
It's
3 I needed to watch as well. I do have, which I can't confirm I have for my dad.
have you seen The Exorcist by any chance?
No, I have not.
That's a really excellent one too. It's not like scary in the sense of like how The Thing is like body horror or like
Mm-hmm.
um The Shining is like psychological horror, I feel like. The Exorcist is much more like existential dread and fear of death and the unknown, which is almost like the most scary thing to me, is like not knowing whether something is supernatural or just another disease. Um, Another great movie, kind of along the same lines, is The Witch, which came out in 2015. If you've ever seen that, that's a truly spectacular horror movie. Though one that I will say, like, after I saw it, I did have a lot of trouble sleeping the next couple nights just because it was so horrifying. And I saw it when I was in college, so I was relatively speaking grown up at that point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it will terrify you. It will give you um, streaky ghouls will shock your soul and make you feel divine. It will definitely
And steal your doom tonight.
there you go. Yes, it will definitely spook you.
The
And
thing that keeps me up at night the most, I kind of talked with you about this before, but like the album, like Everywhere at the End of Time, really
really hit with me in a way.
Yeah.
I feel like certain songs, kind of like there's this one song called like Back There Benjamin, which is like the introduction of the stage 3 or whatever. I can never get that out of my head for some reason. Like whenever I'm scared or something, that song plays. Like the opening notes mainly. I don't know, there's something that feels like the song itself is what, you know, like a family photo or whatever. It kind of feels like that. Imagine that like kind of melting. That's kind of how I would describe that feeling. It feels like, you know, everything's kind of melting in me.
That's very horrifying. I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah. I appreciate it a lot for its message, but I feel like the thing with that, especially considering more like negative reviews, is like it's more of an experience than something you listen to. As like an album, you know.
I can dig it.
It's kind of like An Empty Bliss Beyond This World is probably one of my favorite albums now. Similar sort of concept, but there's like no loud noise or really terrifying anything. It's sort of like sad, sort of like, I wouldn't say like depressing, but sort of melancholic nostalgia with a bit of mystery, if that makes sense, in the atmosphere.
All right. I guess I can see the appeal of that. I guess I can see the appeal. I guess for me, I don't like things which make me feel intentional despair without having a reasonable, like, glimmer of hope at the end. So, like, I love emotional, like, sad, affecting music if it has, like, a triumphant or hopeful conclusion. So, like, one of my favorite, like, progressive rock songs of all time, but my favorite band, Rush, is The Necromancer. And it's like this 12-minute long power ballad about 3 warriors who travel to visit, not to visit, but to like try to take down this necromancer who's like wreaking havoc on their land. And the first 4 minutes are them traveling across his land, and then the next 4 minutes are them fighting him and failing. And they're staring death and failure in the face, and they're saved at the very last minute by their best friend. But most of the song is like a dreary, horrible dirge, that's like just really, really sad, and like you feel like they're gonna die. You feel like they're not going to succeed. And you feel like the necromancer's going to kill them.
Yeah.
But then their friend comes in at the very end, and it's like, oh no, they won. It's going to be okay. Like, I like sadness in that context.
Yeah.
But
as opposed to, like, again, Ever at the End of Time. I do appreciate the message because it's about, you know, Alzheimer's disease. And that kind of really woke me up to that possibility because I didn't realize how bad it was back when I was like younger. One of my relatives does have it, unfortunately. It's progressed a lot, but as a kid, I didn't really get that, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, which is understandable as a kid, you know, like, oh, you have to repeat your name again. I'm like, well, so like, that's why that album struck so much with me, because it's a very real, very possible kind of fear, you know.
The
It
fear.
doesn't have, like, a hopeful ending. I would say the light at the end of the tunnel is just, you know, death itself, you know, because, you know, that's when your suffering ends. But it also woke me up to be like, I should be more appreciative of the time I have now, you know, because all of that could just be like slowly and painfully stripped from you, you know.
I mean,
Not from like any injury, just your brain not able to keep up with it, you know.
I mean, we all, at some point, we're all gonna die of something, and we might be taking tragically in youth, which in itself would be a horrible way to go. But if we're lucky enough to make it to old age, what we face is the inevitability of cancer or kidney failure or Alzheimer's usually, or heart disease. And all of those in their own way, you know, if you have cancer, you're aware of your body falling apart physically. If you have Alzheimer's, you feel yourself falling apart mentally.
It's basically a psychotic break from reality.
Yeah. If you have heart disease, you can feel yourself getting tense all the time, and you know that eventually your heart's just gonna stop. I mean, it's all, there's no good way to go. We all finish eventually, and
I feel like the only good way to go is, like most people, sort of die in the sleep. That's what most people aim for. That's what I aim for. But there's one thing I would want when I die. It's you know, sentimental, but I'd rather be like cremated and then have my ashes like buried in the dirt somewhere with like, you know, a little tree sapling or whatever, so that, you know, a big tree will grow where I would lay, you know.
I like that.
Have to be, I don't have to be buried in this like $1,000 casket or whatever, you know.
I also want to be cremated, and I've thought about this a long time. My dad and I have actually talked about this a lot. I'm really hopeful to have my ashes scattered over a mountain in Tennessee that my dad and I would hike a lot growing up. That has a lot of like special memories for me. So it can feed the forest there, and I can hopefully have the trees grow stronger for future generations that hike on it. But
the only thing I still thinking about in terms of what happens to me after I die is where I put that, you know, tree and, you know, the ash, because I haven't traveled enough to find a good place for it yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. It's like I said. I mean, there's no good way to go. There's no real comfortable way to go. Which is why.
Something we all kind of have to. So.
You know. Yeah. Which is why, while you're alive now, decide what you believe in. Decide what's important to you. Be the person you want to be and pursue it. So when you get to the end, you can look back without regret. And whether there's an afterlife or not, I think there is, but even I can't say for sure. You can look at your life and say, as you feel yourself going towards death, you know, I did my best, and I think I did okay. But also, you know that you're going to get some things wrong, and that's okay too. As long as you're trying, and you're doing what you believe in, and you're not a total slave to your purpose. You also let yourself enjoy life. I think you're doing the right thing. But I'm no philosopher, so I certainly don't know.
We're just two, like, idiot white men on the YouTube set a lot.
Yeah.
If you want to take your life advice from us, that's cool. If not, that's okay too. We don't know what's going on either.
Do like, figure out what you want in life. Pursue something that gives you purpose, and I think that makes you happy. And you only.
In the end, we're all just apes.
I think
this little piece of rock.
I think you
only through an empty void.
I think you only get one life, and what a tragedy it would be to waste it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I think this is a good place to stop.
Let's be happy apes on our little rock. Yeah.
Let's be apes that help each other and love each other while we're here on this rock. Anyway, I feel like this is a good place to stop. My computer's fans are buzzing, which means my fingers are getting hot. So I think this is a good place to stop. But anyway, I had a lot of fun. We're doing Halloween stuff. We're gonna try to record a lot more. Sorry I've been so absent recently, guys. But yeah, Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye.